love you all. Welcome, all you lovers, to the Florida Love Show. This is your love hour right before happy hour, sponsored by Florida Love. Join us each week as we spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love. Now, back to spreading love.
This is for you, Kenny. It's the Florida Love Show, paying love forward is the theme. It's the Florida Love Show, hosted by Kenny and his dream. Every special guest brings their love to the set, and the interview flies, it all comes alive like a duet. He wears many hearts, so he has a very special side. In the Brooklyn Cafe, it's a big love buffet. With roses galore, and you are adored. Come take a bouquet. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Plan your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Make your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Shine your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Love this man. Live your dreams. Make your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Give the gift of love and pay it forward and go. Give a kiss, give a hug. It's the Florida Love Show. Love you, Kenny.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you, Sha. Welcome to the Florida Love Show, all you lovers. We are going to love, 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 love today. And I am so excited. I actually spoke to Sharon yesterday, and she's so full of love. I'm so excited for her and for everyone, and just love you all. Thank you for watching the Florida Love Show. I'm Kenny Love, founder and creator and host and lover of Florida Love and the Florida Love Show. And we're going to be loving Mother Earth today. We're going to be loving our planet today. Okay, when I say spreading love all over the world to create world love, like we're going to be loving our planet. This was the hottest July ever on record, and the hottest month ever on record. So human beings, we destroy the world. Whether it's nuclear weapons, climate change, whatever, we're going to destroy the world. That's why I created this show, so we could all love each other and not destroy our world. Climate change is destroying our world. It's killing coral in Key West, in the Keys. So I'm going to play a song, how we've been feeling the past month, because I know all of you have been talking about it. Please play the next song.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ole, 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 ole. Everyone. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, 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 ole. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Beautiful. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Me mind on fire. Me soul on fire. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Party people all around me feeling hot, hot, hot. What to do on a night like this? Music sweet, just can't resist. We need a party song, a song in little jam. So we rum bum bum bum, yeah we rum bum bum bum. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, 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 ole. So we rum bum bum bum. Woo. Yeah, we rum bum bum bum. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. See people rocking, hear people chanting, feeling hot, hot, hot. Keep the spirit, come on, let's hear it, feeling hot, hot, hot. Hands in the air, celebration time. Come on now, let your soul unwind. We need a party song, a song in a little jam. So we rum bum bum bum. Yeah, we rum bum bum bum. All right, everyone, all together. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, 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 ole. Feeling hot, hot, hot. All right, let's bring it down, everyone. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Sing along, ready? Feeling hot, hot, hot. Little louder. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Loud as you can. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Here in the studio, feeling hot, hot, hot. So that's how we felt all month, because it's been the hottest July ever on record. So I took this picture from my apartment, and every time I see this, it reminds me how beautiful our world is. Look how beautiful this is sunrise. Look how beautiful this is. What are we doing? And we only have now. We only have now. We could all pass with climate change, with nuclear war. Human beings are destroying the world. So let's love each other to create a loving world so we don't destroy the world. And I'm actually going to reach out right now. I'm going to give you examples. Like we're going to make, the first thing, we're going to make America loving again. We're going to make the world loving again. We're going to create a new world of love right now. Love you, love you, love you, love you all. Please comment. Please let me know you're there. Please spread love with me. Please, please, please. So the first thing I want to do is I want to love Ukraine, okay? Because again, we don't want a nuclear war. We want Ukraine to win the war. Just one accident and we could have a nuclear war and destroy the world. So let's love each other. So Ukraine, lifting all Ukrainians in sincere, heartfelt prayer. Dear Lord, protect all families, their children, make their spaces safe, provide for all their needs and comfort them, sending prayers of love, peace, hope, and healing. God will prevail. Amen, amen, amen. So love you, Ukraine. So again, we could destroy our world. I mean, just even Mass shootings. Look what happened first in Uvalde, Texas, and how many mass shootings? Love you, love you, love you, Margaret Love. Love you, love you, love you. She has such a huge heart of love. Love you, Margaret Love. Love you, love you, love you. So beautiful. So beautiful. So, oh, love you, Josh. Love you, love you, love you. Best production ever is Josh. Josh Love, I love him. Josh is doing the production today. He's amazing. He is pure love. So he's spreading love all over the world. But look how many mass shootings we've been having. I mean, how much are human beings going to destroy this world? So we got to love each other and pray for the world to love each other. So, you know, just an example of that is God is love, right out of the Bible. So when we love one person, we spread love to the whole world. So when I give out thousands of roses and say I love you, which we call Roses for Change, we spread love all over the world. God is love. So God is not appreciation. He's not grateful. It's not about that. Or God is not thank you or, you know, light. God is love. It's right here. Love is one word. That's the only word. Love is everything. Love is everything. Everything, everything, everything. And one of my favorite things is keep calm, because love is the answer. That's it. Just say love you. Love you. Love you, love you, love you. And I'll give you an example. This guy was passing me on 95, giving me the finger. So I rolled down my window and I said, brother, I love you, love you, love you. Love you, love you, love you, buddy. And he put down the finger. So just say love you. Love is the answer. And so every morning on Friday, I go and I get my roses to bring to the show to just love everyone. I hand out roses at Publix. I get them from Publix. I hand out roses to everybody I see, and they light up. It's that simple. And last Friday, with Dawn and Freddie, I handed out roses at Movies of Del Rey. What a beautiful theater, by the way. Gorgeous. So like 120 people who were going to see JC sing love songs, and they all lit up. Just handing out roses to each person coming in. They all lit up. So when George Floyd passed, I handed out roses, okay, because I didn't know what to do. And I spoke to my idol right over here, Martin Luther King, and I said, what do I do? And he said, hand out roses to every African American and say, I love you. So I just want to read this because this is my dream too. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed, that all men are created equal. All men and women are created equal. All human beings are created equal. Love you, love you, love you, true tried. I call him true love. Love you, love you, love you, true love. So true love is amazing. He's my graphic designer. He's the best graphic designer in the world. He creates all these posters. He creates everything for Florida Love to spread love all over the world. He's pure love. Look at all the love in these posters. He has the biggest heart of love in the world. I love you, true love. Love you, love you. Mwah. Oh, he's the best. So I asked Martin Luther King, I said, what do I do? He says, hand out roses to every African American and say I love you. So the Sun Sentinel covered it, the Del Rey News, Boca News covered it, and then the TV News covered it. So I'm going to play you the first TV News where we hand out roses in front of Bed Bath & Beyond in Boca and say I love you. Please play the first TV News.
Welcome back. Now at 5:30, who couldn't use a little love right now?
One Pompano Beach businessman is making it his mission to spread love all around by giving out the flower of love to random strangers. CBS 4's Lisa Petrillo has this heartwarming story.
There's an old song with lyrics that say what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Ken Lehrman is living that moment in a movement he created called Roses for Change.
We love you.
The idea for Roses for Change came about after the death of George Floyd and the turmoil that followed.
I felt their pain. And for me, I don't see color. I mean, I see us all as human beings. And we all can love each other. I mean, love is simple.
Ken, who owns his own printing business for 35 years, appropriately named the Happy Printer, decided to spring into action, purchasing dozens of roses he could hand out.
The first thing I did was I went to Whole Foods and I also went to Publix and I gave out roses to all the African Americans in the store. And I said, I love you. And they said I love you back. And they said, God bless you. And they said, we need love more now than ever before.
Ken was so moved by the response, he posted pictures on Facebook, receiving 600 likes. Suddenly, Roses for Change on Facebook was born. His followers wanted to join him, buying roses too, and it's now become a movement, spreading love to people of all races. We recently caught up with them in Boca Raton.
I just want to say I love you. Have a wonderful day.
Michelle Bellman, who had never met Ken in person, wanted in on the love train and came out on this day to volunteer.
His message is just of love, and love yourself, and love one another. And he speaks to my soul, and he speaks to me because I love to spread love as well.
Some were skeptical, wondering if there's a catch to these random acts of kindness. But for those who understood it, it meant the world.
I think it's just amazing. This is really, really nice. You're really showing your love. You're taking your time to do this. Just amazing. And the red flowers, forget it. Just bringing brightness to this world. It's much needed. Thank you so much.
Seriously, so sweet.
Can you imagine what a world it would be like if we just all gave roses to each other instead of what's actually going on? Like, to me, that's a way to spread a message. Spread the message of love.
Lucky me, I received my rose. For more information on Roses for Change when they meet every Friday, go on to our website at cbsmiami.com. I'm Lisa Petrillo, smelling sweet, CBS 4 News.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you, Lisa Petrillo. Love you, Lisa Love. Love you, love you, love you. So that's the reporter there. I love when she says, smelling sweet, because that's what roses are. They're smelling sweet love. You know, we're spreading love all over the world with roses. So at Florida Love, we call that Roses for Change. It's a worldwide love movement. People call me from all over the world to hand out roses and say, I love you. So I'm going to play you the second news where I hand out roses to teenagers at the Milagro Center and say, I love you. Please play the second news.
Continuing to bring you inspiring stories from our area about people changing their communities for the better. Tonight, WPTV News Channel 5's Chris Gilmore shares the story of a man on a mission to spread love, one rose at a time.
Roses are red and Ken Lerman's suit is too.
Love you, Anthony.
If you see his bouquets, he has a message for you.
Man, love you, brother.
The 55-year-old loves love,
I love you.
and he now uses roses to let people know it.
No, I love you.
There's some pain behind Lerman's purpose. His Roses for Change campaign began this summer after he and people across the country witnessed the fallout following the death of George Floyd while in police custody.
How can one human being do that to another human being? Like, I was crying when I saw it.
Armed with roses and a message of love, Lerman says he wanted to reach those most affected.
I got to give this to all the African Americans. They're hurting.
His message has since caught on both online and in Palm Beach County, where he regularly shares love and roses to people of all colors. We caught up with Lerman with 100 of his favorite flowers in hand at the Milagro Center in Delray Beach.
A lot of learning goes on every day here in the Milagro Center, but today's lesson consisted of some flowers and 3 words going a long way.
I love you.
I was surprised, and I was like, oh, I love you too.
A lot of these teens say it's been a while since they've heard those words directed at them, and even longer since they have been given flowers.
It was kind of weird at first. I was like, roses giving someone a flowers. It was kind of weird because I didn't expect that, but it's pretty nice. It's a really nice gesture.
He said, I love you, you stay safe, and he told my grandma happy birthday too.
Lerman says he hopes the connection he makes with strangers leaves a lasting impact.
That's my mission every single day, to spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love.
Because maybe all you need is love. In Delray Beach, Chris Gilmore, WPTV News Channel 5.
And you can help us share stories that are inspiring South.
Love you, Chris Gilmore. Love you, love you, love you. So Chris Gilmore says maybe all you need is love. Here at Florida Love, we say all you need is love. That's it. Love you, love you, love you. That's it. Love is everything. Everything. And to create a loving world. So here at Florida Love, we spread love all over the world to create world love. And to love our planet and to love Mother Earth so that we don't destroy our planet and we don't pass away because of climate change or a nuclear war or anything. So, or even a war. So let's all love each other. I love you, love you, love you. Please comment so I know you're there. Spread love all over the world. So I'm going to play you a montage right now about what's going on, like why this was the hottest month ever on record in a zillion years since we recorded it. The hottest month on record in the world. So please play the first montage.
431 LaGuardia has been caught in a ground stop.
In a summer of extreme heat, torrential rain, and violent storms,
we're just looking at these thunderstorms that we're monitoring.
We've got thunderstorms north of Houston, around the San Antonio area.
How are you? All right. Have a great day.
the nation's airports and airlines have been in the bullseye with cancellations running days on end. Since Memorial Day weekend, 343,000 flights delayed, nearly 26% of the total.
LaGuardia has entered into a ground stop. This is for weather and thunderstorms in the area.
In late June, hundreds of thousands of passengers were grounded after violent storms parked over Newark and Denver for days. Most affected, United Airlines, forced to cancel up to a third of its flights.
It's historically unprecedented, at least, to have multi-day events.
Now, United's CEO is warning this could be the new normal.
Regular operations events are, going to be more likely to occur as the climate warms, more heat in the atmosphere, thermodynamics 101. We're going to have more thunderstorms.
100 above. Checked.
Atmospheric researchers agree and say high-altitude turbulence has also grown stronger over the decades, sending service cars, food, drinks, and passengers flying.
Do we have any trained medical personnel? Do we have any doctors, nurses?
It already happens 5,500 times each year and projected to grow 2 to 3 times worse in the years to come.
What we can confidently say is that climate change is increasing the amount of clear air turbulence in the atmosphere.
While airlines can warn pilots of turbulence ahead, violent thunderstorms remain the biggest threat.
The number one cause of delays and cancellations is weather.
The NTSB says the increasingly volatile weather and turbulence underscore the need for passengers to wear the seatbelts in flight always. It's flight attendants who suffer 78% of injuries during unexpected turbulence since they're most often up and about. Kate?
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow
We
today's.
begin with yet another sizzling day across South Florida. Some areas hitting 97. That's the hottest we've seen in over 3 years. The dangerous temperatures triggering an excessive heat warning.
By all accounts, it's been a record-breaking summer, but is this our new normal? Certainly feels that way. Local 10's Joseph Ojo is live in Fort Lauderdale. Looking a little warm there, Joseph, with these growing concerns. How are you?
This record heat is certainly no joke. If you just even sit out here for just a couple of minutes, you can certainly get drenched. And people here in downtown Fort Lauderdale, they are trying to find their best ways to stay cool and out of the sun.
Oh man, you can see it on my face. It's hot out here, man.
Extreme heat continuing to scorch South Florida.
Sweltering. Sweltering.
Actually, right now with the breeze, it's
yeah,
not
the
as
breeze
bad
is
as
not
it's
bad.
been.
A new record Sunday of 98 degrees. We are also now at over 42 consecutive days with a heat index in the triple digits.
We're having truly an unprecedented hot summer this year.
Unprecedented is an understatement, say people we talked with. In downtown Fort Lauderdale Sunday, our cameras capturing people walking in this historic heat, using umbrellas to block the sun. And a lot of water bottles could be spotted as people stay cool on this humid day.
I'm going back in for the rest of the day after I get done with my bike ride. Headed back home.
This was the site in downtown Miami Saturday. Outreach teams passing out water to our most vulnerable population and providing relief in the forms of cooling locations. On This Week in South Florida, Miami-Dade's chief heat officer saying,
As we go forward, we're going to see many more days like we're seeing now with much more extreme temperatures with heat index over 100 or 105.
She adds it would only get hotter not only because of climate change, but also due to city development.
More concrete and asphalt, less trees, less vegetation, more waste heat from our cars and buildings.
As this heat advisory continues to affect all of South Florida, those outside finding any way to stay cool and hydrate.
Constantly drinking water.
Always drinking water. Bunch of water.
A little beer every now and then.
And so as we brace for more of this record heat, experts do say if you can stay out of this sun, do so. We're here in Fort.
Hey everybody, this is WFLA Chief Meteorologist and Climate Specialist Jeff Baradelli, and I want to tell you about a brand new report that just came out on these really big heat domes around the Earth. And July, by the way, is going to turn out likely to be the hottest July on record, so for the past over 100 years. and likely the hottest July on record in the last 120,000 years before the last ice age. Now, contributing to that is what you see right there. Heat domes sprawled all across the southern part of the mid-latitudes. That's places like Texas, Mexico, and the deep southwest. That's also across the Atlantic, especially in southern Europe and into China as well. Now, a group called the World Weather Attribution, they are a bunch of scientists that came together and decided to do an analysis to kind of study exactly how human-caused climate change has affected these heat waves and made them more or less likely. And here's what they found. They found that the heat wave in the deep southwest, so Mexico, in the southwestern United States, and Canada, would have been virtually impossible without human-caused climate change. They also found it was about 4 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than it would have otherwise been in the whole region. That's a lot. Across southern Europe, they also found that basically that heat wave could not have happened without the fingerprint of human-caused climate change. So the burning of fossil fuels and the release of these heat-trapping greenhouse gas emissions. They also found that that was made about 4.5 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than it would have otherwise been in a non-heated climate. And then lastly, China, that was found to have some fingerprint of climate change, made 50 times worse by human-caused climate change, and in terms of temperatures, made about 2 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than it would have otherwise been. If you want to read more about this particular study and just how warm climate is making these heat waves, you can read below in our article.
Our chief meteorologist, Jeff Baradelli, joining us now. Jeff, we have a world record to talk about tonight. I mean, we haven't seen this ever before. We're talking about heat in the water in the upper hundreds, and it's doing some damage.
It is.
Damage.
Yeah, this is a very serious situation. You might have heard about what's going on the Florida Keys. Several weeks now of a marine heat wave. Looks like today we got to 101 degrees, a sea surface temperature in the water on the north side of Key Largo. And it wasn't the only site. There were other sites as well, a couple of other buoys in and around Florida Bay. As we zoom into this area right here, as you can see, we had water temperatures that were around 98 or 99 degrees. So again, this wasn't the only water temperature that got way up there close to 100. This one, 101 on the north side of Key Largo. So again, this is a massive heat wave. What we're worried about is the evisceration of what's left of the coral population there. NOAA has the whole area, in fact, really the Caribbean and South Florida, in an alert level 2. That is the highest alert level, meaning that it is extremely likely we're going to see bleaching. In fact, over the past couple of days, the reefs are bleaching widespread, and there's a lot of coral mortality as well. Only 3% of the coral reefs are left, coral reef cover in the Florida Keys, and by the end of the summer, it may be near zero. Now, let me tell you why it's so hot there. You've seen the weird weather pattern here in the Bay Area, westerly winds. That's because this ridge of high pressure in the Atlantic has not been nosing in. So basically, the Florida Keys and South Florida stuck in an area with very light winds in between these pressure systems and lots of sunshine heating the water up. But it's also due to human-caused climate change, which has warmed ocean temperatures by at least 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit over the past few decades or so. When you pile the current weather pattern on top of ocean heating, we're looking at some disastrous consequences for not only the coral here in South Florida, but all around the world. If you want to read more about this, you can go to the website.
All right, so I want to spend some time talking about something absolutely remarkable that happened just south of our community just a few hours ago in the Florida Keys, and it revolves around the incredibly warm water temperatures that surround the Florida Peninsula. Now, there's a number of buoys all across the Florida Keys, but at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, the buoy at Murray Key measured a sea surface temperature just less than 5 feet below the ocean surface of 99.3 degrees. Now, as if that wasn't incredible enough, a few hours later, a separate buoy in Manatee Bay, which is a little closer to the Key Largo area, measured a jaw-dropping figure of 101.1 degrees. Now, if this verifies, and I'm sure they're going to critique the numbers quite a bit in the next 24 hours, but if that verifies, that would set a new world record for the warmest sea surface temperature that's ever been observed by humans, and it would break the current record of 99.7 degrees that was observed in Kuwait Bay in the Persian Gulf in the Middle East. So this is really quite incredible. Now, for some perspective, the water temperature averages in this part of the Florida Keys during the month of July only average in the mid and upper 80s. So the fact that we have water temperatures now that are at or above 100 in parts of the Florida Keys is just astonishing. And it's not only in the Florida Keys where water temperatures are running way above average. This is a water temperature anomaly map. So the darker the red, the higher the temperatures are above average for today's date. And they are exceptionally warm across the northern Atlantic. There's only one small swath of the ocean right now where temperatures are below average. And that's because that's where Hurricane Don was swirling for the past couple of days. So it pulled up some cooler water from deeper in the oceans, and then it's kind of cooled off the water temperatures there by a bit. So, you know I don't need to tell you that we don't need a hurricane this year, but we really don't need a hurricane that's encountering water temperatures close to 100 degrees. It's simply mind-blowing what's going on right now with the water temperatures.
It's simply mind-blowing what's going on with the water temperatures. So, world record in the Keys, world record forever, over 101.1 in the Keys. I mean, world record. So human-caused climate change, we're destroying our world. So why I created Florida Love is so we all love each other, and we love the earth, and we love our planet, so we save our world, and we love each other. So it's possible now. We only have now. So I'm going to play you a song because I'm feeling real hot just watching that. Please play the next song. are dancing here. And how you feeling? Hot, hot, hot. Definitely. So human-caused climate change, we're destroying our world. So it's time to love our world. Love each and every one of us and love our world. All human beings to love our world, to save our world while we're still here. So I'm going to play you the next montage, which talks more about what's going on with climate change and the heat. Please play the next videos.
Well, the heat is on across the U.S. By the middle of this week, more than 2/3 of the country will be fleeing the oppressive temperatures. Today will be the 25th straight day of temperatures hitting at least 110 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. The extreme heat is just the latest in a series of intense climate conditions we've been covering. This year alone, we've seen a surge in temperature shifts, deadly floods, and natural disasters, many of which tie back to the effects of climate change. For more information on that, climate change's role in this intense weather, we're joined by Mark Hertsgaard. He's the executive director of the global media collaboration covering Climate Now and the environment correspondent of The Nation magazine. I see you're just in the computer there and making sure we can see you clearly. Thank you for joining us. But we're obviously talking about something very serious here. How is climate change related to this intense weather and these temperatures that we're seeing that are unheard of? And I feel like we have this conversation every year.
Well, and it's not just here in North America. It is all over the world at this point that we are seeing heat that, according to the scientists, would be literally impossible if not for climate change. We burn a lot of fossil fuels. That's the main cause of climate change. It traps those gases up in the atmosphere, trap heat against the Earth. And so it's not really rocket science. If you're going to overheat the planet, you're going to get hotter temperatures. And that's happening all around the world. These temperatures that we recently had in the American South, they were made 5 times more likely by climate change. Now, yes, El Nino is also playing a part in this. But El Nino is just, if you will, the cherry on top of kind of a bitter cherry at that, of what climate change is doing all over the world, which is raising these baseline temperatures. I mean, you mentioned Phoenix. People cannot live in those kinds of temperatures for very long. And we would not be seeing this if it weren't for climate change.
And to that, I mean, you talk about a baseline. I mean, how much worse can the extreme weather get? I mean, as you said, people cannot continue to live like that. So are we going to see a shift of folks moving to different regions? Will we see are we going to be talking about temperatures in 140 degrees in 5 years?
It's ironic. Phoenix and Arizona in general is still a place where lots of people are moving. So a lot of people are not quite getting the message yet. If you're thinking of moving to Arizona to retire, you better think twice, because these temperatures, look, temperatures around the world, the average temperatures are only going to continue to go up until we stop burning fossil fuels. We've got to get off of fossil fuels and get onto renewable energy, zero carbon energy. And until we do that, this baseline is going to keep going up. Now, not every year is going to be as hot as this, but these temperatures that we've seen in June and July in North America, and indeed the Northern Hemisphere globally, scientists are saying they would be literally impossible without climate change.
So when it gets this hot, obviously people are trying to find a way to stay cool. And we talk about, air conditioning units and air conditioning systems. But that can also contribute to climate change. How so?
Well, it depends. If the air conditioning is run by electricity supplied by solar or wind or other zero carbon energy sources, it doesn't make global warming worse. But a lot of electricity here in the United States still does run by burning coal, and some are burning natural gas. And of course, when you burn that, those fossil fuels, those are carbon-based fuels, and that CO2 goes up into the atmosphere and traps more heat. So if you can, look, the first thing is air conditioning in many places is a lifesaver. So don't hesitate to turn up air conditioning to a level that you can live with. But in the longer term, we have got to get off of fossil fuels. And it's interesting, President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed last August, now we're seeing that is really rolling out a lot of changes around the country. And one of the things that you can do as a citizen is to apply for federal subsidies to upgrade the efficiency in your home so that you can be comfortable without making climate change worse.
Well, it took us a while to get to this point, and it sounds like it's going to take us, a little bit of time. We're making changes to get to a point where maybe we won't be having this conversation year after year after year. Mark?
Well, the scientists are clear very quickly. We can still stop this. We have all the technologies. The only thing that's preventing us is the politics. So if you want to get involved with politics.
All right. Mark Hertsgaard, thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I'm meteorologist Steve McLaughlin. You probably know that this summer is on track to be the hottest on record, but we can't say that just yet. And that's because we still have the entire second half of the season. But if we only look at July of 2023, I believe once we crunch the numbers, we're going to find out this was the hottest July for South Florida, for America, and for the entire planet Earth. I also believe this could end up being the hottest month we have ever seen, any month of any year. Here in South Florida, you probably know we get our records from 4 locations: Key West, Marathon, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale. If we have a record in Key West, Miami, or Fort Lauderdale, that is a lock. That is 100% accurate. And those records go back about 150 years. But Marathon is a little bit more complicated for a few reasons. First reason, records only go back to 1950. Secondly, when we say Marathon, we actually mean the Marathon area because the thermometer since 1950 has had 4 locations: Marathon Shores, Conch Key, Duck Key, and its present location on the east side of Marathon Airport since 1998. So let's talk about the records from July 4th through July 22nd, 2023, 33 warm temperature records. That's 19 in the afternoon, 14 in the morning. In addition, the 2 hottest days on record. July 13th, 99 over 86. That averages out to 92.5. July 18th, 98 over 87. That averages out to 92.5. An average July day in Marathon should only be an average of 85. Take all the records from July of 2016 to July of 2022, only the July records, add them up, you get 36. July 2023, we're already up to 33 and more will come. And now look at this statistic. Take all of the records from all year round from 2016 to 2022, 297 records in 2,555 days. That is 1 record every 8.6 days. July of 2023, 33 records in 19 days. 1 record every 0.57 days. In other words, for about 3 straight weeks, we had 2 records per day. So there's another problem with Marathon, and that's the fact that in the summer, in the afternoon, in the blazing sun, the temperature runs hotter than its surroundings. So we reached out to the National Weather Service in Key West. They control Marathon's thermometer, and Chip Casper responded, quote, "The ambient air temperature at that location runs on the hot side relative to other official stations in southern Florida, primarily due to the amount of pavement in the vicinity of the ASOS," end quote. By the way, the ASOS, that is the automated system that takes the temperatures. He continues, quote, "We have tested and calibrated temperature sensors multiple times over the years, and they are indeed accurate. It is just a little hotter at that particular location and exposure," end quote. So let's take a look at Marathon Airport. Right now, the sensor is located over here on the east side. Their hope is that when they move it in a few years to the west side, that these afternoon temperature anomalies will get corrected. But we feel these records are accurate, and here's the reason why. Starting with morning records. How do we know they're 100% accurate? Water temperatures down near Marathon and Key West were up near 100 degrees, and Key West records are almost identical in the month of July. Now, the afternoon records, not quite as reliable, but we still feel they are valid because some 2022 records were broken by several degrees in 2023. Look at July 13th, 99 degrees. That broke the record of 95 from 1 year earlier. That's a 4-degree difference in 1 year. That tells us these records are absolutely valid. So what can we conclude? Conclusion number 1, Marathon does indeed run hotter relative to other South Florida locations, but it's been consistent for its entire existence, especially since 1998. Conclusion number 2, Marathon's conditions can be accurately compared to similar urban locations with parking lots, streets, and buildings. Places like downtown Miami. We can look at Marathon and actually apply that to the city. Conclusion number 3, summer 2023 is legitimately an historically hot summer thus far for the Florida Keys. Conclusion number 4, Marathon's morning records can accurately be compared to the rest of South Florida. Marathon's afternoon records can only be compared to Marathon. And finally, and most importantly, conclusion number 5, Marathon is South Florida's climate change bellwether. In other words, if we only compare Marathon to itself, we can look at climate change over the years. What we can't do is necessarily compare Marathon to the rest of South Florida, but Marathon over the years is getting hotter. And as long as we hold on to these Marathon numbers, we can look over time to see how our climate is changing here in South Florida. I'm meteorologist Steve McLaughlin.
The sea ice around Antarctica is constantly transforming. In summer, it melts. In winter, it builds back up again. Scientists describe the process as the Earth's beating heart, one of the largest seasonal cycles on the planet. But the system is failing, and experts say we're now in uncharted waters. Let's go through the graph that has scientists so worried. The straight line is the average sea ice extent around Antarctica through the year. And here's 2016. Something went wrong that year. There was much less sea ice around than usual. 2017 and 2022 also experienced all-time lows in summer. Sea ice has usually bounced back in winter somewhat, but this year it hasn't. Instead, it's falling off a cliff. To put it another way, this is how much sea ice is usually around in mid-July, and this is how much was around this year. Is it a one-off, or is it the new normal as the climate warms?
There are people saying this could be natural variability. Absolutely, we can't conclusively rule it out yet, but it's very unlikely. We know that this is what the world is going to look like as it warms. It may be that next winter it'll come back. We can hope. I don't know that it will.
So why should we care about sea ice? Well, it's key in regulating the Earth's temperature. It reflects the sun's heat back into space, keeping the sea underneath cool, and the annual cycle of freeze and melt drives global currents that transport nutrient-rich water into the rest of the ocean, feeding ecosystems. The ice is also a habitat for animals like seals and penguins. The thing is, scientists are still unsure about what's driving this trend. Is it a change in the atmosphere, the ocean's temperature, or both? Either way, there are fears a further change in the balance could trigger a tipping point, and after that, it's difficult to reverse the direction.
And that would be quite concerning to the comfort and the sustainability of human conditions on Earth, I suspect.
So let's love our planet. Let's love Mother Earth. Let's love each other. And, you know, what they're saying is we got to stop burning fossil fuels and switch to renewable energy, period. So as human beings, we're destroying our world. We're having extreme weather conditions, floods, heat, fires, etc. Imagine what the hurricanes have been, just extreme. So we're feeling hot. I'm going to play you the next song. Please play the next song.
Come on, baby, do you do more than dance? I'm hot.
hot-blooded here. Hot, 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 hot. So, fires. I mean, I'm from New York. Fires. Smoke and fires. So I'm going to show you the next video about what's been going on with smoke and fires. Please play the next video.
It's one of the worst air qualities ever recorded. The images are startling, even apocalyptic.
They say being outside is like smoking 3 to 11 cigarettes a day. Wow.
The more pollutants in the air, the worse quality air people are up against.
You could not see anything behind this reporter this morning. The air quality in New York City today was the worst in the entire world. Even worse than Delhi, the Indian city which is known for its noxious air. And in Times Square, tourists were shocked by the smoke. 100 million people here in the U.S. across 13 states are impacted, all due to the wildfires that have erupted in Canada.
Several large wildfires burning out of control and just getting huge plumes of this smoke.
Look at this scene in New York, something like the surface of Mars.
The best advice right now is to stay indoors. Many school districts have canceled field trips and all outdoor activities.
If we look at the weather, it says air quality alert, 160, unhealthy. Should we even be outside right now?
Well, again, that unhealthy refers to the sensitive parts of the population. I think for most adults, healthy adults, we won't have much of an effect. So if you have an air conditioner, you shut the windows, use recycled air setting on your air conditioner, and that'll keep the inside as clean as possible.
It feels a little weird. My eyes are a little burning, my throat's a little sore. It feels kind of strange.
Yeah, and I'm also, I have some health conditions, some respiratory, I have a mild asthma, and I also feel tightness.
Yeah.
And I've been just taking it easy.
And look what's making a comeback, masks.
Lots of people wore them during the pandemic, but these guys might not be enough for smoke. So the mask you'd need is called a P100. It's the one with the filters on the side like this that you'd wear when you're painting or working with noxious fumes.
Wow, smoke and fires from Canada into New York City. Look at that mask. I mean, look what we're doing to ourselves, human beings. So let's love our Mother Earth. Let's love our planet. And again, look how beautiful our planet is. Let's love, look at this. Let's love our planet before we destroy it. So I love you all, each and every one of you. And so I'm going to play the last song, more heat. Please play the next song.
Once again, I'd like to bring to the stage Miss Josh Stone.
You again, yeah.
I love you, honey. I love you, Mother Earth. So let's love our planet. Let's love our Mother Earth. Let's love each other. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. So I want to thank you all, each and every one of you, for watching the Florida Love Show today, so we can love our planet, we can love our Mother Earth, and love each other. Spread love all over the world to create world love. So again, I want to thank you for watching the Florida Love Show today. I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. And as I end every Florida Love Show, who can you give a rose to? I love you. You've been listening to the Florida Love Show, where we've been spreading love in the Florida community. For more information, please contact me, Kenny Love, at 917-699-1995 or ken@florida-love.com or on our website, florida-love.com. See you next week, 3 p.m. Friday for the Friday Love Hour. Keep spreading love in your life and have a loving week. Love you all.